We're now live on YouTube, starting us up on Rumble. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History. This show is about what happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, historical calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to these sources, music, and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander.
King's Refuge.
And you, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for joining. Today is July 31st, Woden's Day, aka Wednesday, 2024. And that reminds me, King, we were gonna talk about like some kind of intro or something. So like I do want to get working on something like that, so that way I'm not repeating the same thing all every morning and all that stuff. We can condense all the information. You know, we can make something cool. Anyway, what do we got here? Do you want to start us off in 30 BC?
Oh wow, that's some old news.
I know, right?
30 BC, Battle of Alexandria. Mark Antony achieves minor victory over Octavian. But most of his army subsequently deserts, leading to Octavian's invasion of Egypt. Oh boy.
Ooh. Oh wow. So how the turntables?
Deserters.
Yeah.
How the turntables have turned.
Yep.
781, the oldest recorded eruption of Mount Fuji.
Wow.
July 6, 781.
Yeah, traditional date. I think at some point, like, I mean, I mean, it can't be that hard figuring out, like, you know, what the date was with all the different calendars and all this stuff, because, you know, the calendar that we use and, you know, by extension the majority of the rest of the world uses today was not, I don't think, was invented by 781. The Gregorian calendar. At that time, people for the most part were using the Julian calendar or their own individual calendars. So anyway, uno más?
1221, Egyptian Mamlukan occupies Akko, Crusaders driven out of Palestine.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Got the Crusaders out of there.
Oh, good luck driving people from Palestine now.
Well, that's a whole nother bag of hammers right now. Moving up into the year 1415, the Southampton plot to assassinate English King Henry V and put Edmund Mortimer on the throne was uncovered. Dun dun dun. Conspirators. Obviously, they had to have been executed. You know, because that's high treason right there. 1498, Christopher Columbus was the first European to discover the island of Trinidad on his third voyage. Alright, so anybody who is, you know, of Trinidad, yeah, like, there's some Trinidadian history for you. 1620, Pilgrim Fathers departed Leiden, Netherlands, for England on their way to America. So we all know about the Pilgrims, you know, the people with the belt buckle on their hat and all that jazz. So I believe this is like the Pilgrim Fathers, I guess like the Founding Fathers type of situation. So like the I'm wondering, are these the Plymouth Rock people? Anyway, yeah. What do we got here in 1646?
1646, royalist supporters besieged at Goodrich Castle surrendered to the parliamentarian forces during English Civil War after castle partly destroyed by roaming Meg and enormous mortar.
Huh. I gotta check out this roaring Meg. 1646. All right. Images. Oh wow, dude. Huh. Look at that thing. Like.
Oh, I'm not looking at it. Oh wow.
Yeah. Like it's a mortar. I mean, like, dude, look at the size of the munition that has to be in that thing. Like, that is, that's a mortar. I would surrender too. That's scary. Let's see here. 1658.
1858. Urazagenzib the 65th. Urangizeb appoints himself sixth Mongol emperor. Is that Mongol or Mughal?
Mughal, I think.
Mughal.
Yeah.
Emperor. The Mughal Empire will reach its greatest extent under him.
Right. The Mughal. Yeah, I've read about these guys before. Let's see if there's like a map. Oh yeah, so this is okay, so it was basically the southern portion of what is now India. Was the Mughal Empire. So they had architect so the I believe, according to what this picture is suggesting, the Taj Mahal was built during the Mughal Empire. There's a lot of other architecture here too that looks similar. Oh. Huh. I see Stars of David on that thing. Is that a synagogue? Maybe. Anyway, moving on up into 703 or 1703. Daniel Defoe was placed in a pillory for the crime of seditious libel after publishing a politically satirical pamphlet, but he was pelted with flowers. You know, you can't mess with the people, as I've been saying. Like, you know, like he made some political satire or something, and he was charged, and they put him in a pillory, which is like, you know, that's what like you know, in the Wild West, you know, you throw tomatoes at the people and all this stuff. They're in that wooden thing, you know, with their head and their wrists. That's a pillory. So they put him in that, but instead of anything else, the crowd, the people, threw flowers at him, I would suppose, in support. You know, why else would you throw flowers at somebody? So, yeah, the leaders of the nation right there learned a really powerful lesson. You know, like, if they kept going after him, they probably would have not, you know, remained in power for too much longer. 1751, fire in Stockholm destroyed 1,000 houses. Yikes. Stockholm, Sweden, I believe. Stockholm's in Sweden, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. That's a lot of houses.
Germany.
Yeah. But what do we got here in 1771?
1771, Dutch painter of animals, Paulus Potter's Great Ox Herd, sold for 9,050.
Whatever that is. I don't know what it is.
Their currencies in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Amsterdamian
Y-bills.
currency.
The Y-bills.
Y-bills. Y-bucks.
Y-bucks.
Like V-bucks, but Y-bucks. Let's check out this painting here. Well, we have several different renditions, so I don't know which one is the one that's sold. So that's a mystery. All right. Oh yeah, so this is the other guy I was thinking of the other day. It wasn't Maximilien Robespierre, it was Marquis de Lafayette. Okay. What do we got here?
1777, Marquis de Lafayette, 19, made Major General of Continental Army. Wow, 19. Man. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, at the same time, you got to put into perspective, we were not really picky. We were, you know, this was our War of Independence, you know, no? Like...
No, you got both your arms? Both your legs? Ah, make him captain.
Yeah.
Major. Major.
You know? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that too was also a thing. You know, at some point. I mean, like, hey,
don't have PhD? Ah, get on there. You'll lead us.
I mean, we weren't even a country. You know, like, not yet. So, like, you want to talk about bottom of the barrel?
Not bottom, but a horse of war. Get out there and lead us.
Yeah. But like you know, to exemplify that, like, there's a scene in The Patriot where he's melting down his children's toys, little tin soldiers, to be used as ammo. You know, like, it was some serious, rough times. Like people think things are bad now. Like wait until you got nothing, and then you got called to fight. Then you got to figure out what you can do. Like,
Yeah, we can't melt down our kids' toys anymore. You just get really
just
bad
get plastic
fumes
poisoning. Yeah.
yeah, there's really bad fumes everywhere.
I mean, hell, you can't even find like good Hot Wheels.
Maybe,
You gotta.
maybe we can light them. Maybe we can light them on fire and then throw them at the enemy, and then don't be poisoned.
You know what? That does give me an idea. Like, how effective would it be if you can like get enough plastic toys, melt them into some congealed, partially molten mass, and launch them from a trebuchet? Like, will will that work? Like, yeah, it's like napalm, but different.
Oh yeah, have you ever had melted plastic like actually drip onto you? Oh my god!
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, why did I do that?
Anyway, let's move on up here to 1790. How did we get to plastic warfare from Marquis de Lafayette?
Melted plastic warfare.
Yeah, I know, right?
1790, first U.S. patent granted to Samuel Hopkins for a potash process. Potash?
Potash process. Potash includes various mined and manufactured salts that contain potassium in water-soluble form. The name derives from pot ash, plant ashes, or wood ash soaked in water in a pot, the primary means of manufacturing potash before the industrial era. So, like getting salt out of things.
Mm. Yeah, because we had to put so much salt into stuff to preserve it. Meats. Anyway.
Yeah. The word potash originates from Middle Dutch potassium, denotating pot ashes in 1477. The old method of making potassium carbonate was by collecting or producing wood ash. So what is potassium carbonate?
I didn't know there was a process for getting it out. I thought we just all ate salty meat.
No, like, yeah, like like you mine salt, but you got to get the impurities out somehow. So you got to filter it and run it through some stuff. What is this? Potassium carbonate is the inorganic compound with the formula K2CO3. It is a white salt which is soluble in water and forms a strongly alkaline solution. It is deliquescent, often appearing as a damp or wet solid. Potassium carbonate is mainly used in the production of soap and glass. Commonly, it can be found used as a result of leakage or of alkaline batteries. So this is, I don't think this is an edible salt. I think this is a salt, or this is like, because potash is an old method of making this, which this is used by extension. Man, and people think crafting in in video games is difficult. So to try to do it in real life, we're on level 75 of crafting with this. What the hell? Wow. Anyway, moving on up to 1792, what do we got here? Cornerstone laid for the first U.S. government building, a U.S. mint in Philadelphia. The first government building is, of course, money. Wow. I mean, of course, you need an economy. That's just how things work. Why don't you take us into the 1800s here? 1809. Here we go.
1809, first practical U.S. railroad track, wooden, for horse-drawn carts in Philadelphia.
Yeah, can you imagine before the invention of the train, the railroad came first, and it was for this. If you're still watching my stream, this was the very first trains. Horse-drawn carriages on a rail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Isn't that crazy? How we spoke a couple weeks ago about how the elevator shaft was invented before the elevator? Well, the railroad was invented before Yeah. The railroad was invented before trains. That's kind of weird,
Wasn't it just to show off the brakes, pretty much? The elevator?
As far as the train thing?
No, I'm just saying the elevator wasn't the reason the elevator was invented, just to show off the great braking power it had.
I don't recollect that. It's more of like a lazy way to get to next floors, or especially because you can only build so tall before taking stairs becomes ridiculous. You know, like would you work on the 44th floor if there weren't an elevator? You had to walk the whole way. Like
Yeah.
so, elevators were more of a necessity invention. But I mean, they do need brakes. Don't get me wrong. Like you know, like in case of an accident, you don't want to stop all at once at the bottom. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah. But yeah, no, like, I never heard that, but I'm not saying,
I just see.
anything.
I
I
just
just,
hear that the brakes on a elevator is pretty solid. Like the mechanisms all lock into place like automatically.
yes, as it should. Like, you'd hope
Yeah.
it's solid, yeah. Oh. But anyway, let's move on up here. We have War of 1812 here.
Oh, the war. 1812. I got 1813.
Yeah, the War of 1812. I know it's confusing.
1813, British invade Plattsburgh, New York.
Yeah, the War of 1812 was fought from 1812 to 1814, I believe. It was when the British tried to invade us again and retake the colonies. It was failed, but Canada was on their side. We somehow won the war technically, even though like we never really got any major victories, and they did burn the White House down, or the Capitol. So I don't know, but yeah. So that this is like when the British were trying to take us back. So yeah, they invaded Plattsburgh in New York. 1849.
1849, Benjamin Chambers patents breech loading cannon. What's a breech loading cannon?
You can load from the back.
Oh,
That's
nice.
the breech. When you see like a tank fire and the thing opens, the shell comes out, and they put a new
Right.
one in there. That's the breech. That whole mechanism. So, but let's see here. 1849. Let me look up a picture of this. 1849 breech loading cannon. Yeah, right here. So like the back opens, you can load the shell in, and then right here, the entire cannon. Wow, look at this mechanism. The entire cannon swivels on a pivot in the middle, and the breech is this whole thing here. So this entire back thing is all part of the breech mechanism. It's almost as big as the gun itself. That is so impractical, but it's the first one. So, but I mean, can you imagine? Like, then you have to like raise and lower the entire thing, because you can see the elevation mechanism here is attached to the breech itself. The breech is part of the angling mechanism. That's interesting. What else do we got here? 1852. Ooh.
1852, hottest July, Netherlands since at least 1783. 68.4.
Yeah. With an average of 68.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 20.2 degrees Celsius. Well, that's not really that hot.
No, it's not at all hot. That's a mild day.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to take this one? Since it's kind of been your thing, unfortunately.
1853, first nighttime surgery performed at Leitchikov Hospital in Limburg, now Lviv, Ukraine, using new paraffin oil lamps invented by Ignacy Lukas. Oh, yeah.
Kerosene. Yeah, kerosene lamps.
Yeah, you can't have your surgery, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gotta die. Oh.
But yeah, no, like way back in the day, and I assume the practice is still like kind of, practiced today to some degree, but like surgeries used to be limited to only in the early mornings. So that way, like, the doctors aren't sweating and all that stuff, and, like, when it gets warmer, like, later on during the day, especially prior to the invention of AC, you know. So, moving on up into 1855, Stockholm experienced its hottest July since at least 1756, with an average temperature of 21.4 degrees Celsius, which is not that much higher than this other one. So I'd say, like, what, 71, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere in there, maybe 70. Maybe I'm overthinking, but 1856, Christchurch, New Zealand was chartered as a city. We all know about Christchurch. They had that crazy, horrendous earthquake, like, what, a decade or so ago? You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1861, Cherrapunji, located in Assam, India, received 9,300 millimeters of rainfall in July, setting a world record. That is quite a lot. I think. Like, that sounds like a lot. Hold on a second. 9,300 millimeters? Let's see. It goes to 2 inches. Alright. Whoa. 366 inches. Okay. Let's change millimeters to feet. Okay. 30.5 feet. Dude. They received 30.5 feet of rain in 1 month in India, in this one area in India.
That's nuts.
That's crazy. Holy cats, man. What do we got here in 1864?
1864, Ulysses S. Grant is named General of Volunteer.
Volunteer forces. So not the regular army. Well, I guess they are the regular army, just like the people who volunteered, not the people who were drafted or who were there maybe prior. Like, maybe this is like post start of war volunteers. I don't know. Grant later on, became like, although this is like near the end, because the war ended in what, 65? 1865? Like 66, somewhere in there. This is later on in the war, so I don't know how much longer it took before he became like some big general or something, if they had the position. He did become president later on, though. Well, anyway, what do we got here? What is this?
1865, the first narrow gauge mainline railway in the world opens at Grantchester, Australia.
Huh. What is a narrow gauge railway? Gauge, whatever. Oh, okay. So I guess narrower trains? Yeah, that doesn't look as wide. I don't know. Or maybe the actual size of the tracks? Hold on a second. Narrow gauge railway. Let's look at this up here. Is a railway with a trait gauge narrower than 1,435 millimeters. Standard gauge. Most nail gauge railways are between 600 and 1,000. Okay, so it shows here the different gauges by size. But it's... Are we talking about width, or... Because all these little I-beams, or whatever you call them, tracks, look the same width. I don't understand. I need a railway aficionado to help us, and not the idiot, who derailed the train, but I need someone else. Anyway, let's move on up here. What do we got in 1876? Ooh.
U.S. Coast Guard officers training school established in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
So officers for the Coast Guard. Which brings it up, like, from yesterday's... actually, no, we didn't do a show yesterday. The day before, with Loon here, he proposed a very good question. Was the Coast Guard, like, around Hawaii, or at least around Pearl Harbor? Like, before our, involvement in World War II? Because, like, the Navy is its own force, Would they have their own security thing, or would the Coast Guard come in and fill that? What do you think?
Good question.
Yeah. I don't know, the specific semantics of, like, like that level of intricacy involved in the military, especially from back then. So, anyway, you want to tell us a little bit about the Russo-Turkish War?
Russo-Turkish War, second Russian assault on the Plevna Ottoman Empire, now plebeian Bulgaria, fails. 7,300 Russians and over 2,000 Turk casualties.
Woo. That was a major defeat right there.
Oh.
1879, the first cable connection between South Africa and Europe was laid by the British electrical engineer Charles Tilston Bright as part of his project to link the British Empire with growing telecommunications technologies. Nice. So South Africa to Europe, that is a pretty long distance right there. 1893, Gaelic League was founded by Douglas Hyde and Eoin MacNeill in order to encourage Irish people to speak the language and take a greater interest in their culture. Well, why don't you take a greater interest in the Irish culture? How about that? You want them to interest in yours? Well, show them interest in theirs. Simple. What do we have here in 1911? I'm not entirely sure if I'm on board with this. I really don't think I am.
Hungarian education is only taught in German.
Huh.
What? What?
So, like, in Hungary, they only taught education in the German language.
That's
weird. Wouldn't they have their own national language? Like,
I would say, don't Hungarians have their own national language?
I mean, like, there's over 7,000 or 9,000 some odd languages, actively being spoken right now in the world to some capacity. So, like, that is insane. But you'd think you teach, your country your native tongue. I don't know. Well, then again, like, wasn't Austria-Hungary friends with Germany? Because this is 3 years before the outbreak of World War I. So maybe, like, this was some kind of, some kind of way to have them all, like, speaking the same language so they can, achieve victory better, because communication is key. So, anyway, just 1 year later, this one is a little eyebrow-raising here.
1912, U.S. government prohibits movies and photos of prize fights. Boo, censorship.
Yep. Why?
We want to watch men punch each other in the face.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why the hell? Like, would they do this? What's the point?
They're not outlawing prize fights.
Yeah. Well, I looked up the article for Surface Level Scratch, and I'm just getting film censorship in the United States. So it's giving me an entire history of this. So it might be in here somewhere. I don't know. So if anybody wants, they can give this a look-see, or let us know in the comment section. This next one, though, here we go.
1914, German Emperor Wilhelm II threatens war. Orders Russia to demobilize.
Here we go. Yeah, and as I made a whole rant last show, the 11th month, the 11th day of the 11th month, that's when World War I both started and ended, 4 years apart. And this is 14, so we're just a couple months away here. But speaking of war and stuff, what else do we have in 1914?
1914, oil discovered in Lake Maracaibo, northwestern Venezuela, the largest lake in South America.
Well, that sounds like they need some freedom. We need to
Yeah,
liberate.
this is when it popped off for them, right? Venezuela, and they started getting rich until they got to the 90s, and then voted socialism, and then
I think you are correct. I don't really know much about Venezuelan history, but that sounds kind of familiar. Because they did get rich off of oil and stuff, right?
yeah, they were doing really well for a while there, and then they elected some socialist, and then it went downhill extremely fast.
As socialism does, you know? Any form of ism. 1917, World War I, the Battle of Passchendaele, the Third Battle of Ypres, began. This went on to cause approximately 500,000 casualties, 500,000 wounded or dead. That's what a casualty is: wounded or dead. Like that's a total number, because they have usually, like in war, they have dead, injured, and missing. Well, this is just the number of the dead and the injured combined into one. So, wow, dude, and this was just over centimeters of ground, like the amount of fighting and the amount of blood shed just for feet. I'm talking just move up a couple feet of ground is just obscene. So that's what you get when you have a whole culmination of a bunch of technologies, reaching a dead end, so to speak, with the capabilities of the time. But yeah, now you can now you can pilot a drone on the other side of the world. You can kill an entire platoon and then go home for dinner. Crazy. Anyway, moving on up, 1919, the Weimar Constitution establishing the German Republic was adopted. This is, of course, after the First World War. Huge chunks taken out of Germany. A lot of reparations imposed upon them and all that jazz. 1922, what do we got here?
1922, 18-year-old Ralph Samuelson rides world's first water ski to Minnesota.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while this guy was water skiing, what were they doing in Italy?
Oh, 1922, general strike in Italy against fascist violence.
Yes. Against fascism. Let's not forget, Italy invented fascism. Benito Mussolini, who worked with a socialist newspaper. So, if the shoe fits. In 1925?
Unemployment Insurance Act passed in Britain.
Ah, yes.
Hmm.
I had highlighted the wrong one. Thank you for reading the correct one. Yeah. So, I guess if you're unemployed, this sounds like welfare kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm on board with this.
I don't know. Everybody gets laid off.
Well, let's look this up here really quick. 1925 Unemployment Insurance Act. Whoa. Okay. They have a bunch of them here. Okay. Act of 1925. It does not have an article with this exact name. Okay. So it's not going to tell me.
I think we're a little early in American history for. I think we're a little early in history for welfare.
I don't know, man. Because I think welfare was invented in the late 1800s. I remember seeing. Hold on a second. When was welfare invented? Welfare. Let's see here. Social welfare, type of government support, yada yada yada. We know all about that. Some historians use systems of codified almsgiving, like the zakat policy of the 7th century, 634.
Fuck out of here with that.
Yeah,
Come
okay.
on.
The first welfare state was Imperial Germany of 1871 through 1918, where the Bismarck government introduced Social Security in 1889.
All right.
In the early
1871.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, the first part, yeah, that is grasping at straws about,
Get out of here.
Technically, yeah, I can see.
It's technically in BC. I don't know. Someone gave a goat to another guy, and that's technically the first.
No, it was 634 CE, which is common era. Which, they don't say AD anymore. So 634 AD, essentially, the 7th century. But yeah, no, like that's like technicality type of thing. You want something with that's more resembling what we have today, and that was the 1871 one. You want to talk about a Olympic one here? 1928.
1928, Helena Ponopaka of Poland hurls discus world record 39.62 meters to win first gold medal in Women's Olympics athletics at the Amsterdam Games. American Lilian Copeland and Ruth Sidberg of Sweden take minor medals. All right.
Nice. Let's give them a cheer here. Hold on a second. Where did it go? Stupid Discord lagging. There we go. Nice. Oh, let's see. We got that. And then, that's weird.
1928, the first women's Olympic track record. American sprinter Elizabeth Robinson equals her own world record. 12.2 seconds to win 100-meter gold medal in Amsterdam. Canadian Fanny Rosenberg and Ethel Smith. Dead heat, 12.3 seconds. Woo!
Nice. Cool. Very nice. And you want to take this 29, and I'll start us off in the 30s?
1929, Anne Stride Brained becomes premier of France for the 6th time.
Hey, man, the guy's popular. Whoa, wow.
Yes.
Wow, dude, 11-time Prime Minister of France. Well, we're just, slightly over halfway. This is when he's, his 6th time. He's done it 11. Holy crap, dude.
Oh,
this guy was popular for his efforts towards reconciliation between France and Germany. Brian received a Nobel Peace Prize jointly with Gustav Stresemann, then Foreign Minister of Germany. While Brienne's efforts to prevent another conflict were ultimately unsuccessful, he's remembered for his small success and ardent ideals. So he tried to avoid World War II with France. Huh. And this was, what year? 29? Okay, yeah. So, wow. 1930. Actually, it's baseball. Do you want to take it? Actually, there's two baseballs.
Yeah, okay. 1930 Yankees. First baseman Lou Gehrig drives 8 runs with a grand slam of 2 doubles and a 14-13 win over the rival Boston Red Sox.
Nice.
And here in 1932, Cleveland Indian christened their new home municipal stadium before more than 76,000 fans lose the opener. 1-0 to Philadelphia A's.
That is heartbreak right there, man. That's their new home. They're christening their new home. They're at home, and they lose.
I mean, you could lose. They could have lost 9-0. So, Well, sounds like a boring game. 1-0.
And that's that 9-0 would have just been more salt on the wound. But man, dude, with how superstitious baseball people are, if I was on that team, I'd be like, well, this is a bad omen. I quit.
Well, I guess I have to stop being an Indians fan.
Yeah. Hold on.
1932 German elections. NSDAP gets 37.3% of the vote.
That was the Nazis.
They're Nazis.
Yeah. Thank you for taking over. I appreciate that. Yeah, the national.
Yeah, I got you.
The National Socialist Democratic something party. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1936 here, we have the IOC Awards in Tokyo, Japan. The 1940 Summer Olympic Games, later canceled due to the Second Sino-Japanese War. that would cause it. So,
Mm.
yeah. And just 2 years later, archaeologists discovered engraved gold and silver plates from King Darius the First in Persepolis. Huh. All right. And while that was going on, we got a big baseball here. Actually, do you want to take this one,
I'm
Mister?
curious. Where did they relocate it? The
Relocated?
1940 Olympics, or did they just not do it that year?
No. I think it was canceled. Like straight up canceled, due to the Second Sino-Japanese War. That's when they were attacking China. So. Yeah, no, I don't think there were any Olympic Games for like a little while because World War II and all that stuff. It's because, everybody was fighting each other. Like, I mean, they weren't even doing like, baseball and stuff in the United States. Baseball was canceled for a couple of years. We saw a movie.
No, it wasn't canceled. It was taken over by women.
Yeah, for a while. So, and
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that. I would have liked to see that form into its own league, like how there's a WNBA. That'd be,
Why?
Is there women's baseball?
So it could be taken over by men again?
Well, with all this trans crap and everything. I hate what they're doing. I absolutely hate it.
I really do. I wish more women would speak up about it.
Yeah, well. One day they will. Maybe. Anyway, 1938, MLB Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis suspended New York Yankees outfielder Jake Powell after he said on Chicago radio he kept in shape by cracking African Americans over the head with a nightstick. Wow. Wow. What? Okay. I would have just fired him. I wouldn't have suspended him. I would have fired him. Like, that is nasty. Wow. Then equally as nasty here, in 1940, Nazi Rijksmuseumsbeheerder of the Netherlands, Arthur Seyss-Inquart, banned homosexuals. Wow. 1941, U-boats sink and damage 21 Allied ships this month, equivalent to 80,521 tons. That's a lot of shipping. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of
that's just this
good
month.
Steel.
That's a lot
of good steel sitting down there.
I know, that's just 1 month, man. And
you know about the steel thing and how all of our old stuff is better because it was
actually made well.
The nuclear bombs fuck with all our shit. So our steel's not as good, or something.
Wait, what? Where are you going at with it? Are you saying that what are you saying?
Steel, I'm pretty sure steel, nowadays, is, less as good because of all the bombs. And steel made before, that's, just laying out there is, I don't know. Yeah.
So are you saying that since we detonated atom bombs and everything, it changed the molecular structure of steel all over the planet?
I believe so. Hold on. Steel.
I'm curious. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm curious.
Steel.
Well, while he's looking at
low background steel.
No background steel.
Low background steel.
Low background steel. Let me look this up here. Low background steel. Low background steel, huh? Low background steel, also known as pre-war steel and pre-atomic steel, is any steel produced prior to the detonation of the first nuclear bombs in the 40s and 50s, typically sourced from ships either as part of regular scrapping or shipwrecks and other steel artifacts of the era. It's often used for modern particle detectors because more modern steel is contaminated with traces of nuclear fallout. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. Now wait a minute. But steel is a manufactured product, not something made or not something naturally occurring. It's steel is an alloy made from two different things, right? Like,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so like,
I don't know. I just, it's a blip in my head. I don't know any information, any details, or nothing.
well, I'm gonna keep this open. I'm gonna look at this later on, and also add this to the underbar section. Hold on a second. Uh, well, what's this? What was this called again? Low background steel. Low background steel. This is wow because there is no such thing as naturally occurring steel. So unless the argument is saying that the ore in the earth is contaminated, which like that's deep underground and all that stuff. If it's contaminating all the way down there, why aren't we all dead? This is an interesting theory. I'd like to look at this a little bit more later on, as I said. We gotta get back on track with the show here, though. 1942, German SS gassed 1,000 Jews in Minsk, Belarusia. Yeah. Oh, and oh god, now we have a whole bunch of awful things. I'm gonna rattle this off, and then you'll take 1948. Sounds good?
All right.
So 43, transport number 58 departed with French Jews in Nazi Germany. 44, last deportation train out Mechelen departed to Auschwitz. Also, transport 77 departed with French Jews to Nazi Germany. And Pierre Laval in 45, fugitive former leader of Vichy France, surrendered to Allied soldiers in Austria. So that's something good, finally. So at least I got something nice out of that. What do we got here in 1948? And sorry for, like anybody watching, I just had to muscle through this. These are all disgusting, awful articles, horrible things that happened. But as we always say, you have to recognize the bad history with the good, so that way we ensure tomorrow does not become yesterday. So, anyway, 48, good sir.
1948, U.S. President Harry Truman dedicates Idlewild Field, now Kennedy Airport, New York City.
Ah, I think I've flown in. Actually, I flew out of Kennedy Airport. I'm not sure if it was that one though. So.
In 1951, Japan Airlines is established.
All right.
Right, airplanes in Japan.
I almost said a really bad joke. I mean, with what they did just 6 years prior, I mean, like, I'd be a little... Yeah, I wouldn't fly that on them for a while.
Let them get it out of their system. No.
Oh, my God.
1954, first ascent of K2 by an Italian expedition. Ascent, sorry. First ascent by a K2 by the Italian expedition led by Ardito Desio.
K2, we know that as a mountain.
Yeah, it's like quite a hike.
Yeah.
1954, Milwaukee first baseman Joe Adcock becomes only the third player in 20th century to hit 4 home runs in 9-inning game. Lou Gehrig and Gil Hodges, 15-7 versus the Braves, win over Brooklyn Dodgers at Epps Field, MLB record 18 total bases.
Wow. I wonder if that record's been broken. 1958 here, we have an anti-Chinese uprising in Tibet. I 100% fully support a free Tibet. Free Tibet.
Free Tibet.
And leave the Uyghurs alone.
Yeah. China.
Yeah.
Dicks. And those other, the Mongol protection?
The Falun Gong practitioners. Leave the Falun Gong. Yeah.
Yeah, Falun Gong.
Yeah. Leave them alone. Leave all your neighbors alone. Just China, just stop.
Yeah, stop being dicks.
Yeah. It ain't gonna
Hey, you fished up your own you fished up your own damn waters, alright? Deal with it.
Yep. 1960.
Fish.
Yep. 19,
Sorry, go ahead.
it's all right. No, I interrupt you all the time, so it's fine. Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam, called for a black state. Ah, well, yeah, that can't end well. 61, Israel welcomed its 1 millionth immigrant. All right.
Moving on.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, like, going back to, like, the 1960 thing, like, calls for a black state, as soon as you start bringing ethnicity into anything, it's not going to end well, Like...
Well, at least have the same fucking culture before you do it. No.
Or just keep on keeping on with what you already have, Don't fix what ain't broken.
Don't invite people that pee in cups and then leave them on doorsteps into your country.
Where's that happening?
We were just watching that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's another New York thing.
Oh, I guess I'm just so used to, like, ridiculousness, I don't even pay attention anymore.
Yeah, we heard about that today. They're just peeing in cups because you remember them saying that the cleaners are done cleaning the city now, and so the outhouses are overflowing and stuff.
Oh my God!
And people are pooping like near trees and in between cars and parking lots, and leaving bottles and cups of pee.
Like
instead of peeing in the ground or peeing in a tree or peeing behind a building or anywhere but a cup. Yeah, they pee in cups and leave them around for people to find. Little magic, little Easter egg for your travel to New York City. You find a cup of pee with a pride.
Find a cup of pee. Go to New York City and find a cup of pee. Oh man, dude. I'm surprised I wasn't paying attention to that. Like, I guess I was just oh, they're peeing in cups.
Watch
Okay,
it when
whatever.
you're out of the room. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. That is insane.
Yeah, it's the apartment dude who used to do apartment shit.
Crash Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Jordan?
I think, maybe.
Something Jordan, I think.
Yeah.
Johnson, I don't know. Like, the energetic guy who talks like this, and gets up in the camera, and
Yeah.
With a swoopy haircut.
Little swoops.
Yeah, you can surf on that thing. Anyway, what do we got here in 1963?
1963, MLB Cleveland Indians ties record of 4 consecutive home runs to beat California Angels 9-5. Hoodie Held, Pedro Ramos, Tito Francona, and Larry Brown all go deep off Paul Foytak in the 6th inning. What?
So what? Like he hit like a very far ball or something, and they all went. Is that what that?
So, yeah.
Okay. 1964, Al Parker glided 644 miles without a motor. That's impressive.
Glided? What?
He glided. So just like, you know what a glider is, right? Just like, flying on the air currents.
Oh, it should say he glided on a glider or something. I don't know. I'm thinking car here, and I'm like, wait.
Oh. Well, that would be a very long downhill. But that would be...
Where do I get that car at?
I know, right? Zero friction. We also have a U.S. Ranger 7 took 4,316 pictures before crashing on the moon. That's not the ideal landing there, but cool. So if you want to watch, I assume there's a video. They comprise all the pictures together, like that one Mars thing we saw the other day, crashing onto the moon. 1965, cigarette advertising was banned on British TV. Okay. So as they would say over in jolly old England, no more advertising of sucking a fag. So
yeah.
Yeah, and hey, you can't come at me with hate for saying that. That's what they said. That's their slang. Ooh, that's British slang.
They're banning fags.
Ooh. I'm telling.
Bad.
Shame on you, United Kingdom.
Shame on you. Fags are people too. You know, like companies. You know, companies are people too.
Yeah.
You know, cigarette
Now I
companies.
think you're the one stretching here.
Cigarette companies.
Yes.
Cigarette companies, guys.
Yeah.
Get your. Come on. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Before we trigger any more crazy Karen people out there, what do we have here in 1966?
1966, two Alabama radio hosts, Tommy Charles and Doug Layton of WAQY in Birmingham, asked listeners to send in Beatles albums and merchandise to burn in response to John Lennon's anti-Jesus remark that Christianity will go.
Yeah.
Pause. Was he wrong?
Well, with how much persecution they're doing to these people right now,
Look what they just did in the Olympics, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, do you see any signs of Christianity? Yeah. Being mocked. All the fucking time.
Can you see it?
Anyways.
Yeah.
1967 Rolling Stones singer Mick Jagger and guitarist Keith Richards are released from jail in England after serving 1 month on drug charges.
Ooh. All right.
I wonder if anybody else got that light sentence.
Yeah. I know, right? 1968, the Beatles closed Apple Boutique in London, giving clothes away for free. Yeah, because nobody wanted to buy your anti-God stuff. You know? I wonder how many people even took the clothes for free. Huh. 1969, Mariner 6 made its closest approach to planet Mars at 3,410 kilometers. Okay. And also in 69, the National Guard mobilized in racial disturbances in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Here we go. Oh. What do we got here in 70?
1970, Black Tot Day, the last day of the official sanctioned rum ration in the Royal Navy started in 1740. Oh, shit!
Wow. So they were rationing how much rum you can have from 1740 until 1970. That's that's generations. Like that's one hell of a wait time. It's like, hey, we can drink again. Woo! In the Navy. 71.
1971, Apollo 15 astronauts take 6.5-hour electrical car ride on Moon.
Yep.
Oh, right.
Well, I mean, you couldn't really have like an internal combustion engine in an area with no atmosphere. It needs oxygen. There is no oxygen. So unless and fuel is heavy, So like
that and combining oxygen to an engine
in space, yeah.
In space, it'll take a little imagination to get working.
Oh, it'll probably have to be like a self-contained thing, like like the mud crab was, like that Jeep that was driving underwater, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, you have another one here in 71.
1971, Venezuela's hydrocarbons reversion law mandates gradual transfer to government ownership of all unexploited concession areas by 1974 and all their residual assets by 1983. Wait, what?
So they're publicing the oil. It sounds like reversion law. So going from government ownership to private. So they're privatizing. It sounds like. Which, by this, because companies are quote unquote private and they're not of government technically. This is how Shell Oil and Enron and all that, or probably not Enron, Enron's a different company. Chevron is what I was thinking of. Texaco. This is when you spoke about this earlier, when everything in Venezuela started going to shit. Reread this. Transfer mandates graduate to government ownership of all. Actually, no. No, I'm backwards here. This is going to the government.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
That's where I was like, wait, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's not good. Sorry. I was backwards. So this is all going to the government. Okay. 1972, we have the Claudy bombing. 9 civilians were killed when 3 car bombs exploded in County Londonderry, North Ireland. No group has since claimed responsibility. Huh. So we don't even know today who did that. We also have Operation Motorman. The British Army used 12,000 soldiers supported by tanks and bulldozers to retake the no-go areas controlled by the Provisional Irish Republican Army. Well, I mean, Ireland wanted to be free. Let them be free. Stop, suppressing them, man. England. You're not a United Kingdom by choice, but by force. In 1973, Delta Airline DC-9 crashed in a fog in Logan Airport, Boston, killing all but one of 89 on board. Lone survivor died 5 months later. Yikes.
Ooh.
I have a feeling that that's a case of self-deletion, survivor's guilt, What do we have here in 1976?
1976, Seychelles Independence Day.
Nice.
Also, 1978, Cincinnati infielder Pete Rose singles off Phil Niekro to extend his hitting streak to 44 games as Reds edge Atlanta Braves 3-2, ties Willie Keeler's 81-year-old National League record.
1980, Hurricane Allen formed in the Atlantic Ocean, will go on to become the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin with winds of 190 miles per hour. That is fast, which is 305 kilometers an hour for anyone who doesn't use freedom units. That's fast. 81, Arnett Hubbard installed as first woman president of National Bar Association. All right. So is that like alcohol bars, or is this like the bar for like the lawyer bar exam? What is this? Because depending on which one it is, there's a vast difference of levels of proudness. National Bar Association. NBA. What the hell? Okay, now I'm all sorts of confused. Why is there an Olympic torch in this? It was founded in 1925 as the nation's oldest and largest national network of predominantly black U.S. attorneys and judges. Okay, so it's for black lawyers. All right. So that sounds a little segregationally to me, but whatever. Cool. 1981 as well. Mid-season strike by MLB players ended after 42 days, causing cancellation of 713 games. That is a lot. Players and owners come to an agreement on free agent compensation. Yes. The Loon would have a thing or two to talk about free agency and all that stuff. He's all for it, I think. 82, what do we got here? Oh, man, this one's sad. Do you want me to take this one?
46 kids and 7 adults die as 2 buses and several cars collide near Wayne, France.
That's a tragedy. 46 kids. Man.
1982, Finland, Italy, Germany, Austria, I said it right that time, and France form American European Football Federation, AEFF.
Now wait a minute. How does that make sense? Finland, Italy, Germany, Austria, and France, which are European nations, form the American European Football Federation. There's no American nations in there. So why are we the first name?
Because we're fucking America.
It should be the European American Football Federation, if anything.
Now, we gotta have our names first.
But we're not even in there.
And if they wanted to be first, they should have named themselves like Aaron or something.
Aaron?
You know? Aaron, A-A-R-A-N.
Oh, so then we can say, oh, you done fucked up now, Aaron? Where's Balaki? Blake? Anyway, what do we have here in 1983?
Brooks Robinson, Juan Marshall, George Kell, Walter Alston are introduced in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
Nice.
1983, Dutch July average temperatures is 21.1 Celsius, warmest July since 1852.
And if I remember correctly, that's still like, what, 67, 68 Fahrenheit, somewhere in there?
Yeah, it's not that high.
Yeah. Ooh. Why don't you take 87 here?
1987, a rare Class F4 tornado rips through Edmonton, Alberta, killing 27 people and causing $330 million in damage. Wow.
Alberta's in Canada, right? Edmonton, Alberta,
Yeah.
Canada?
Yeah.
So they had an F4 tornado in Canada. That is crazy. That's unimaginable. But it happened. Like
1987, Baltimore first baseman Eddie Murray.
I was going to say the same thing.
229th, I got to it for you, and 300th career home run to lead Orioles to an 8-4 win over Texas Rangers.
No, I was thinking about saying Murray, but I was like, no, let him read.
Murray.
Murray.
1987 battle between Iranian pilgrims and Saudi Arabia troops. 402 killed.
Yikes.
Oy.
So Saudi Arabia did not want any pilgrims. I mean, like, you know, looking at our borders and then looking at this event, I'm like, finally something Saudi Arabia and I can agree with. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, close the borders and treat it as an invasion, because it is.
Must be nice.
Lock and load. One more 87.
1987, Rockwell International awarded contract to build a fifth shuttle.
Space shuttle.
Space shuttle.
Yep.
Jeez, I got 5 of them there. Nice.
Well, not anymore. The program ended in 2011 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a recording of Mom and I.
Pay billionaires to go to space.
Yeah. No, I actually have a recording of Mom and I. We were talking in the garage many years ago about this, and she's like, she's really sad that the shuttle program is ending, and now we're going to be relying on the Russians to get to space. You know, and that was before, like, SpaceX and whatever Virgin was doing at the time. Because remember, Virgin, Richard Branson was competing against Elon for a while, and then now he's just disappeared. Like, what happened to Richard Branson? Like, I think he sold off all of his Virgin property, and now he's like living in a box on a street corner or something. I don't know. But anyway,
I don't know. I think that's pretty much the only way you can do that. It's such a huge expense. You gotta go private.
Yeah, but it's really ironic, like how, like, Russia kicked our ass up and down, the road multiple times over in the space race, and then now our shuttle program is ended, and now we have since and as I mentioned, we have all these privatized stuff, and NASA is still doing things, but as far as like outside of private, Russia is once again kicking our ass in the space race. Here we go. And that's why in the battle of communism versus capitalism, communism will always win, because they have no morals. Capitalism has ideologies and stuff that holds it back. I mean, that's kind of the same thing that Anthony Ryan said in BioShock, right? That was the whole purpose of What was that city?
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, some apocalyptic name or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was all about like getting rid of all of your ideologies and just doing science for the sake of science. No money motivation, no political, no religious, no government. So anyway, moving on up to 1988. 32 people were killed and 1,674 others were injured when a bridge at the Sultan Abdul Halim ferry terminal collapsed in Butterworth, Malaysia. Yikes.
Rapture.
Rapture, thank you. Yeah, the city of Rapture. Yeah, literal apocalyptic name, Rapture. Yeah.
Hey guys, come to my new city. Hey, what'd you name it? Rapture.
No thanks.
Hey, you guys want to come ride on my new ride? I call it the Titanic 2.
Funnily enough, there's a town called...
Don't imitate us. Huh?
Funnily enough, there is a town called Swastika in Canada. So, yeah. 1988, the last Playboy Club in the U.S. closed in Lansing, Michigan. All right. 1988 as well, Oakland DH Jose Canseco smacked 2 home runs off Scott Bankhead. Oh, they banked it off his head. An A's 6-2 win over the Seattle Mariners, became the first MLB player to hit 30 home runs in first 3 years. Impressive. Congratulations. Good old Jose Canseco. What else do we have in 88?
1988, Pittsburgh Pirates first baseman left field and 7-time All-Star Willie Stargell becomes 200th man inducted in baseball's Hall of Fame.
Now, I wonder, when did he play? He died, in 2001. He was born in 1940. Okay, so I was wondering, because based off of the photograph, that looks like a really, really old uniform. And it looked like an old picture, but then again, from way back in the day, like they didn't allow integration. I'm not even sure. I don't even know when they had this at. Now I'm all sorts of confused, like as far as like what the fashion was and what era and all that stuff. I don't know. The hat is just throwing me off there. Anyway,
it's a tall hat.
Yeah, it's like it's an old style baseball hat, but it's from a time where blacks didn't play with whites. Or the other way around, like, I don't know. That's weird. That hat is just really throwing me off. Anyway, what do we have here in 1990?
In 1990, Bosnia Herzegovina declares independence.
All right.
1990, Texas Rangers pitcher Nolan Ryan records his 300th career victory on the 11th win over the Milwaukee Brewers, 20th MLB pitcher to reach this milestone.
All right, Nolan Ryan.
Nice.
Yep. 1991, Russia and the U.S. signed long-range nuclear weapons reduction pact. Yep, good. And also, the Senate voted to allow women to fly combat aircraft. Why did it take so long? I mean, once again, another example of Soviet Russia beating us. They allowed women pilots, thousands of them, to fly in World War II. Like, meanwhile, we were holding them back. Like, and I would say arguably in that vein, communism has more morals than capitalism. Although I don't think communism had anything to do with women flying the planes, but still, it was a communist government allowing something, a lot more fair than we were. So, 1991, and believe me, I'm not preaching pro-communism in any way. Believe me, as what you see here, living in California, no, but judging off of facts, 1991, Senate voted to allow women. Oh, got that one. 1992, Thai Airbus crashed into a mountain at Kathmandu, causing 113 deaths. Yikes. 93, Inkatha armed forces killed 49 ANC followers in Johannesburg. I believe that's the African National Convention. So this is probably something to do with apartheid, like at the very last vestiges of it. So, what do we got here in 94?
1994, Arsen Lindbergh averages 71.6 Fahrenheit.
Yikes.
You're with these mild, like, it was 70 degrees this day on this day.
Yeah, well, Europe, they get actual hot days too, but they don't really have deserts in Europe, do they? Like southern Spain, there's one. Might be some more temperate areas in Italy, but for the most part, Europe doesn't really get that much heat.
Are we just gonna keep putting the Netherlands in here?
Huh.
Because we did it not too long ago, and it was like 20-something Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Was like, that's not very. Now we're doing it again. Are we gonna keep listening as? It'll eventually get up there a hot degree one of these days.
Maybe
we'll come across it like, holy cow! It was 90 degrees in the Netherlands today. Oh my goodness, what did they do with themselves?
I don't think they can survive 90 degrees. Meanwhile, I'm over here going to bed with a comforter in 90 degrees. It's like, oh hey, it's chilly.
Oh man, it's kind of freezing.
Right now it's 80. So.
Yeah, it's 86 here.
That blows my mind. How the hell are you hotter than California?
Just is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's skip over the Netherlands and talk about the New York Yanks.
1994 New York Yankees shortstop Phil Rizzuto and Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Steve Carlton are inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
All right. Oh God, we're talking about Stockholm. That's in the Netherlands or Sweden or something. Here, they.
1994 Stockholm averages 21.5 Celsius. Blah 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 blah.
The warmest July since 1855. I mean, it's not that warm to us, but like you do got to give some credence. Like 1855 to 1994, over 100 years.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
1995, Walt Disney announces the acquisition of Capital Cities, ABC, for $19 billion. Network of properties now consists of Disney, ABC Sports, ESPN, ESPN2. That's it. This is a prime example of why you don't go to these fucking bullshit like mainstream media sites. They're all fucking owned by a few people, and they all think exactly. Damn, there he's got it. The thing with the. I'll let him explain it.
So, and this is really old. Like, this is like well over a decade old, because I remember seeing this like back in 2008 or something crazy. So this Death Star of influence, so to speak, has rapidly grown. If it's not twice as much as as you see before you right now, I'd be shocked. But actually, let me see if I can find a better image of this. Because it didn't let me zoom in all the way.
Why everybody argues with each other? Like, if you go down to the root cause, this is why everybody argues with each other, because you got one set of people who do nothing but watch TV for their news, and you got other people who actually go to multiple YouTube pages, read through the comments, and go from there. And that's just the small. I'm just just putting it out there lightly, just the gist of it. That's what I think. We're all arguing with each other.
Well, like, as we all know, Walt Disney owns the Walt Disney Studios, Marvel, but they also own over here
Fox.
Fox Entertainment
Fox
Group, Sky,
News.
National Geographic.
For all you think Fox
Hulu.
News is right wing.
They own Hulu. You know. Then there's the Disney this, Disney that. So
They never were.
Yeah. But somewhere in here, here's Hulu again. Photo Bucket and GoPro. Buena Vista Construction Company. This is what I want to talk about here. Buena Vista Construction Company. Disney owns their own construction company, which means Disney is in itself its own microcosm of an entire thing. It operates outside of the nation, and I would arguably outside of the laws. Like they are
beyond a monopoly.
Well, see, what I'm talking about, the reason why this construction company is such a big thing to me personally, is that if they want to build anything, they're not going out and working with the community around them, the very same people that go and pay for tickets for their movies, that pay for tickets for their theme parks. They don't go and give back by hiring these people. They have their own inside company, construction company. So they don't provide any benefits towards the community at large around them whatsoever. In that aspect. That's why it's such a big thing to me. It drives me up a wall, why Disney is allowed to be such... Dude, look at how big they are. This is ridiculous. The History Channel, A&E, ABC, the Vice Network, another ABC, Lifetime, ESPN, and they even own, they own Disney Plus, which is a comparator to Hulu. They own Hulu. They own multiple companies that are in competition with itself. Can you not see what's screaming at you in your face, people?
They're funding both sides of the war.
Yeah.
You think straight.
Yeah.
Think it through.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
I'm getting frustrated. I don't want to start insulting.
Okay, yeah. Let's move on here. 1997. Baseball. Do you want to take this one?
1997, A's first baseman Mark McGwire becomes MLB's top home run hitter to be traded in the middle of the season when he moves from Oakland to St. Louis Cardinals. 34 home runs and 81 RBIs.
All right.
Not bad.
While that was happening... go ahead.
Yeah. Now you go.
Okay. While that was happening, college football's all-time winningest coach, which, by the way, that is a real word. Winningest sounds like something your 2-year-old would have come up with, but it actually is a real word. You can look it up. Winningest coach Eddie Robinson and his Grambling State University program were placed on 2 years probation for rules violations, including recruiting and academic eligibility. Not ineligible, but eligibility. Okay, that's weird. 1999, the Discovery Program Lunar Prospector. NASA intentionally crashed the spacecraft into the moon, thus ending its mission to detect frozen water on the moon's surface. Okay, that sounds like you're trying to cover up evidence there. 2002, do you want to start us off in the new millennium?
2002, Polaroid Corporation is purchased by One Equity Partners, continuing to operate under the Polaroid Corporation name. All right.
And you know why Polaroid, as far as I've been made aware, why Polaroid became such a big thing?
No.
So that way you can take nudes of your significant other, and you don't have to send them in and have somebody else see them. Yeah, you can start building your own stash, so to speak.
I remember.
The flipping.
Yeah. Well. Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Yeah, shake it like a Polaroid picture. Wasn't that a Kanye West song?
No.
With the Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas.
But wasn't he in the Black Eyed Peas?
Was he?
I think so.
Fuck, I don't know.
Was Kanye West in the...
Not hip.
I think that's where he got his debut. Black Eyed Peas. will.i.am, Apple D Dap, and Taboo. Kim Hill. It's not saying anything about... okay, maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn Kanye West was part of the Black Eyed Peas.
Huh. Where did the year start?
Wow, it's talking about Eazy-E. Huh. That's a long time ago. Well, all right. Black Eyed Peas go far back than I thought they did. Wow. Anyway, 2006, Fidel Castro temporarily handed over power to brother Raul Castro, leading to a celebration in Little Havana, La Pequeña Habana, Miami, Florida, where many Cuban Americans participated. All right. Yeah, so that's when he stepped down and everything. I don't think he reassumed power after that. Do you remember?
Oh, I have no clue. The Go-Getters.
Oh, Kanye was part of the
Yeah.
Okay. So he
I don't
was
know
part
who
of a
else
band.
He was part of a group.
I vaguely remember maybe the Go-Getters, but it's just on the farthest of the far memories. Like maybe I don't know. But anyway, what do we got here in 2007?
Boston Celtics obtained former MVP and 10-time All-Star Kevin Garnett and a 7-for-1 deal with Minnesota Timberwolves, then the NBA's biggest ever trade for one single player.
Dang, 7-for-1.
Yeah.
Like, you're really important.
Imagine being part of that trade.
Huh.
You're
Like,
only 1/7 of a guy.
Ha! Man, that's worse than 2/5, I think. That's a terrible joke. I'm going to hell. 2007 as well, Operation Banner, the presence of the British Army in Northern Ireland came to an end, the longest running British Army operation ever. Well, yeah, because you're suppressing the freedom of another people. Britain, stop it. You know? Like, I realize that you're clinging to what little you have left of your once glorious empire by just holding an iron grip on Scotland and Ireland, but let it go. Stop it. Nobody wants you, Britain. You know?
Yeah, nobody likes to.
Yeah. I mean, you really think people were sad when you left the EU? Please. What do we got here in 2012?
A second power grid failure in India in 2 days leaves 670 million people without power. Oh my god.
Holy crap, dude. That's a disaster. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't like a revolution after that or something, or maybe there was. Like, yikes.
2012, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band performed their longest show ever at Olympia Stadium in Helsinki, Finland, clocking in at 4 hours and 6 minutes.
Woo! That is a long show. Nowadays, streamers just do that almost on a daily basis.
Right?
But they're not up there on stage dancing around, singing, and all that stuff. They're just mostly sitting in a chair and doing stuff. So, 2012, Michael Phelps. Ooh.
Michael Phelps becomes the greatest medal winner in Olympic history as part of the Winning America 4 times 200-meter freestyle relay team in London. Phelps' 19th career Olympic medal and 15 overall gold.
Wow. Wow. 19 medals, 15 of them are gold. Like, man, dude, you know, this guy's a machine. 2014, Israel and Hamas agreed to a 72-hour humanitarian ceasefire. And, like, I'm not sure if this is, you know, I think this is chronological now, because at that same time, the U.S. agreed to resupply arms to Israel, including rocket launchers, mortar rounds, grenades, despite condemnation of civilian casualties in Gaza. What the hell? So it's basically, oh, hey, let's have an intermission, and oh, we're going to arm one side while we're all taking a break. Gee. Gee, can you not see the favoritism and who owns who here? The U.S. is Israel's little bitch. I swear to God. You know? If anything happened, oh my God, somebody coughed in Indonesia. Let's send $5 billion to Israel right now. Why? Every time. And now they're doing that with Ukraine. So, anyway, 2016, Yuriko Koyaki was the first woman to be elected to Tokyo governor. All right, cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. 2017, Anthony Scaramucci removed as White House Communications Director after less than 2 weeks. That is fast. Like, man, like, that is a very short job period right there. But what do we got here in 2018?
2018, actor Alan Alda reveals he has had Parkinson's disease for 3 years. An interview with CBS This Morning reveals how physically acting out your dreams can be an early symptom.
What the hell does that even mean? Physically acting out your...
So, that's wild. Because he played the dad... He played Michael J. Fox's dad in Family Ties, didn't he?
I don't know. I never watched the show. Family Ties dad. Family Ties. Let's see here. Starring Meredith Baxter, Michael Gross, Michael J. Fox. Maybe it was Michael Gross?
Maybe.
Playing Stephen Keaton on the sitcom.
Oh, he played MASH dude. Hawkeye. Played Hawkeye.
Oh, okay. Alan Alda on MASH?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The Mobile Army Surgical Hospital is what MASH stands for, by the way, if anybody doesn't know that. Oh. Let's see here. And then another 2018.
Aerial Mexico Flight 2431 crash lands in Durango, Mexico. All 103 on board survive.
They had this in the first half, not gonna lie.
Wow. Wow.
Usually it's all 103 on board. You know, the next word is gonna be... no, they survived! What a twist!
On board. Sweet.
It's a happy time! Oh, here we go. This is propaganda here.
I'm not reading it. I'm not reading propaganda.
Okay.
2018, Rihanna becomes first black woman to appear on the cover of British Vogue's. I kind of wish it would. I don't care. 2019, American official announces Osama bin Laden's sons, Hamza bin Laden, and potential successor, has been killed in U.S. airstrikes in Pakistan.
Once again, in Pakistan, you know, like, obviously Pakistan has picked their side and it's not ours. You know, but then again, our side has Israel, so how good are we? Yeah.
2019, Russian Vladimir Putin orders Russian army to help put out huge wildfires in Siberia, covering 3 million hectares, 7.3 million acres, after 700,000 people sign a petition.
I mean, why did he have to wait that long? Like, obviously the fire was huge, needed military intervention, and actually, if anything, that makes Russia a lot more diplomatic, or at least a lot more democratic, not diplomatic, a lot more democratic than what they're trying to be. Because that's the voice of the people. They're like, yeah, send the troops in there to suppress the fire. We don't want to lose the entire forest. Come on. You know? Uno Mas 2019?
I think it would be more about saving their GDP.
Maybe.
Wow, that wood's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, but then why would he wait until 700,000 people signed a petition?
I don't know. True. 2019 U.S. Federal Reserve cuts interest rates for the first time since 2008 by 0.25%. There you go. That's all you get, lemmings.
A massive, colossal, whopping, whole entire 0.25%. Whoopee! Thank you, government. Thanks, Obama. 2020, Apple wildfire started near Beaumont, California, forcing the evacuation of nearly 8,000 people over the next few days. I remember that. Massive wildfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's always an area in California that's on fire. Like, you know.
We get on clean up the brush.
Yep. 2021, U.S. swimming superstar Katie Ledecky won the women's 800-meter gold for an unprecedented third consecutive Olympics in Tokyo, claimed the distance 800/1500 meter double. Nice. Dude, this lady winning 3 times in a row. Dude, she's nice. It's awesome. We also have first mixed gender event to feature an Olympic swim program. Great Britain team of Kathleen Dawson, Adam Peaty, James Guy, and Anna Hopkin won mixed 4x100 meter medley relay and world record. Well, of course, you're putting guys in a girls thing, like, or something. This mixed gender event, like, I don't know. Anyway.
So it's guys against girls?
It's guys and girls against other guys and girls, I think.
Well, as long as they're, I don't know. I kind of like that.
Yeah, but then the guys would just come out on top. Like, the girls are just there just for the, like...
They want to compete, and they're like, okay, a male who's saying that, yeah, I'm male, and a woman who's coming up saying, yeah, I'm female, and I know I'm competing. We're competing each other. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that doesn't stop all the crybabies from crybabying. Like,
I mean, if that's I don't see no problem with that, but yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's just kind of setting up a platform for people to cry about, you know? Like,
it is. I mean, I guess, but whatever.
I mean, I agree with you, you know? Like,
if it stays there, you know what I'm saying? But,
yeah.
You know, slippery slope and all that.
Yeah, well, we all know how our government is with slopes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of government, what do we have here in 2022?
2022 Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri, who helped plan 9/11 attacks and CIA drone strike in Kabul, Afghanistan. U.S. President Joe Biden calls its group biggest blow since Osama bin Laden killed.
Huh. Sure.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
Always been the best.
Chocolate chip.
I like my chocolate chip. Anyways, 2022 McKinley Fire, Klamath National Forest becomes California's largest fire of the year at 51,000 acres, fueled by high temperature and strong winds, forcing evacuations. Oof.
Yeah, like there's this one picture. Let's see if I can find it. California. Like, let's see if I can find it, because there's this one where it's like it's kind of at nighttime. Like it's kind of like this. Like, look at that. There's the city there, and the mountains are raging. Like, that's scary.
Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't that one where some police officers driving through the forest, and it's like fire. It's like he's driving. He's like he's just stroll through fucking hell. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. You know, obviously he's not slow driving. He's out there trying to find people, but it just looks like a leisurely stroll through hell. Yeah, that one.
Well, this is actually a family escaping the fire, but like people got to put it into perspective. It's not just the heat It's the aspect of your tires melting. And then what are you going to do? You know, you just got to keep going. Like, but there are videos, like as you said, of like firefighters driving. This is a different video of other people, but like this is more or less, you know, what that guy saw, like just driving through. Then there's just fire. Like, this is what it's like to drive in California. Oh, ew. Saw the Facebook logo there for a second. Yeah. Anyway, we just have a few more articles here. If you want, I'll take one, and you can take the last two.
All right.
So 2022 Women's Euro 2022, England defeated Germany 2-1 in extra time in front of biggest ever Euro crowd of 87,192 people at Wembley in London. Wow, nice. I mean, like, and that's for the Women's Euro, the biggest ever Euro crowd for Women's Euro. And whoever says that women don't get their crowds, come on, you know, right here, nice. But here we go. Now we're talking about some serious heat. None of this European crap. You know, now we're getting into real stuff.
2023, city of Phoenix, Arizona, high temperature of 108 degrees. Ends heat record of 31 consecutive days of temperatures at or above 110 degrees. 31 days straight. Oh,
yeah, and this
boy.
this is the aftermath. Like, you know, they went for over a month, or about a month. You know, 31 consecutive days of at or above 110, and this is when the high is at 108. This is when it's down. This is when it went down. Fuck.
Leave the state for a month. Oh my god.
I mean, like, what was it that Peggy said? Like, about Phoenix, Arizona? It's man's testament against God or something.
Yeah.
Or hubris. Like.
Yes, and man's hubris against God.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
2023 location of first English slave fort in Africa found. Fort Cormonti, built 1631 at Fort Amsterdam, Ghana.
All right. So, like, why do we care when it's becoming known that Africans sold Africans to the white people? We didn't go in there and just catch them all in nets. You know, it was product. It was product of basic human nature, war. You know?
They were just killing. They were just, wait, you want to pay money for it? We were just going to take them out back and kill them for fun.
Yeah.
It was exactly how the fucking conversation went.
Exactly.
I defy anybody to prove me wrong.
But anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time. Try to make it every day, but sometimes we just don't feel like it. Sometimes things happen, you know. But hey, we do what we can with what we got. So, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
And you, of course, are you. Thank you very much for watching. And, yeah, until you catch us next time, you know, don't forget to look right and left at you. You know, I know I'm kind of abridging the outro here, but I don't have my script. So we do have other shows. You know, we do have other stuff and all that stuff. But, yeah, until you catch us next time, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Yes.
All right, move this over here. Stop streaming. Yes.